My fellow Americans, it has come over my past several years enrolled in high school of a rising epidemic within our nation's schools. What is this crisis? Odor of too much of a good thing. The stench of teenagers using fragrances. Oh, mercy. Welcome to the SCENT program, SCENT. My name is Megan Ray. It is my job today to educate you on the history, misconceptions, and the proper way to wear and use cologne and perfume with a person's sense of smell. So sit back. Problems are in use of perfume, believe it or not, has been around for thousands of years. That's why we study our ancestors' history, so we don't make the same mistakes. So don't feel bad or embarrassed. Just listen and learn. Fragrances first appeared in the culture of the ancient Egyptians. Developed alongside the first cosmetics, they were designed to attract the goodwill of the gods, not the opposite sex, like so many try today. So, when did this practice grow out of control? Here's a clue. When King Tut's tomb was discovered, his body and casket was engulfed with pots of oil and fragrances. When his tomb was reopened some 3,300 years after his death, there was still a strong scent left behind. It makes my head and nose hurt just thinking about it. Now that we have discovered the history behind these strong fragrances, let's sniff out some misconceptions individuals have about the proper way to wear and use cologne and perfume. In high school and in public, I have noticed a wide range of citizens who misuse cologne and perfume, and I am not the only one. I interviewed many students, both younger and older adults, about the use of cologne and perfume within their own environments, many of them having interesting points to make. One young man said, "Cologne and perfume are nice, however, not necessary, especially if you are a well-groomed individual." One young lady said, "I think cologne and perfume are a good thing. However, it should not be used as an alternative to taking a shower." One young man said, "I don't mind people who wear cologne and perfume. However, I don't want to be sprayed. It's not cool." And finally, one woman said, "Generally, I like cologne and perfume, but only if tastefully worn. A lot of people don't understand the idea of less is more." And here's another thing. The smell doesn't just hit and run. It sticks, causing headaches, burning eyes and noses, not only for myself, but other captive citizens as well. Honestly, if I can smell you and pinpoint exactly who you are before I see your face, something's wrong. So let's discuss some perfume etiquette tips to help solve these problems. Cologne and perfume should interact with your body's chemistry without disrupting the environment around you. Here's a hint. If you make people sneeze, it probably means you applied too much. So, how do we apply cologne and perfume? Cologne and perfume react to heat, so apply to pulse points, such as the crooks in your elbows and the backs of your knees. When applying to your wrists, remember not to rub them together because this crushes the scent. Also, when applying, apply from bottom to top. Spraying your ankles, yes, your ankles, to allow your scent to rise and conquer throughout the day. Apply with care. Ago. Oh, okay. And these were my sources. Are there any questions? Usually, her question, how long will a bottle last? Depends on how big of a bottle you get, quantity-wise, and it also depends on how much you apply per day. Me, it usually takes about 6 to 8 months to get through a bottle about this size, so it should last a long way. Her question was, does one brand last longer on a human than another? Generally, I think general brands that aren't name brands don't last as long because they're not made specially for, well, they're made specifically for a person, but they're not high quality, I guess you could say. But I think they work just as well, and you get twice the amount of it. So really, I don't think there's any difference. Her question was, why did I choose this particular topic? The reason I chose this topic is because at my lunch table, I sit with a bunch of girls. We had this conversation a good portion of the school year because most of our boys on our basketball and football team had a hard time applying acts appropriately, and it stunk throughout the whole school. So that's the reason I chose it as a topic. Are there any other questions? Yes, ma'am. Her question was I able to educate any of these boys with my presentation? I did this presentation for speech contest, so yes, a lot of the boys were sitting in the audience when I gave it. They were well informed. Her question was, do any of the boys do anything about it? Some did. Some, however, it didn't come to heart. Are there any other questions? Yes. His question was, how much is too much? When applying, apply a few quick spritz. You don't need to put on a lot, like up and down and walk through it. As long as it covers your major pulse points, it should last throughout the day from your body heat emitting it. Is there any other questions? Thank you. Oh, yes. Her question was, are you supposed to apply it to clothes? Here's my big thing about it. I generally try not to, but you can. The big thing is it shouldn't have to cover like unclean clothes. So as long as you wash, you take your daily bath and wash your clothes and you just apply it to your skin, it should be good to go. Are there any questions? Any other questions? Thank you. That concludes my presentation.